All right, folks, good Monday morning. Let's get airborne with our solo Amazon brief. Big week ahead. A lot going on in the market. This is tech week, and as we often talk about, the market is definitely forward looking. It's present to forward looking and really doesn't care about what's already happened. And tech earnings are going to be very, very interesting this week based on where we are. Always got to do a Where's Waldo of where we are, and we're somewhere over here, right? Especially on a day like today, another rip up to 3,800. It's an all clear. Everybody, into the pool, and it's, of course, you all know that's not even close to being the case. So somewhere around in here, and we're hanging in here, right? Because we haven't definitely hit any of this stuff down here. Fear, capitulation, despair. None of that's happened. Everybody's still kind of sitting around doing the whole, this can never happen again. The Fed will always blink, like the Bank of England or whoever else has already blinked, and save us all. So this is, who knows if we're ever going to get here. And if we do get here, it will be this, and this, and it'll be a lot of it, and it'll be bad, especially if the Fed does try and step in to cool nerves and save the market, and that doesn't work. So let's go ahead and get airborne. Interesting day for me, personally. A lot of weird energy, not weird, just, disturbances in the force, but especially today. So today's a tough day for me, right? Because the past couple days, October 24th, they've actually been happy for the first time in decades, right? Just under 2 decades, because my father passed away today. But this anniversary actually feels like he died, right? And it sucks. Because the medicine does some good work in healing, but it also lets it always works, but it kind of lets you know when you're not working, right? So today actually does feel like the anniversary of his death instead of his transition. So today, just bad morning so far, bad night. Got my ass kicked in yoga. So we're gonna stay right on time. We're gonna do about 30 minutes today. But doing the medicine work ain't easy, right? Especially when there's other things going on recently, especially with people that you thought you loved and trusted, which you all are going to get an update soon, because I'm still on the back channel working a lot of stuff out. But anyway, check out this most recent podcast. I didn't do one on Friday, so we'll get back on the flight schedule this week. I believe I got Bart on Friday. So y'all are going to get to hear about Bart. I read his kind of initial debrief months ago, but now it's time to have some Bart love on the podcast. So we'll be doing that on Friday. Horrific article over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal. This is awful. Read this headline. 3 New Yorkers ordered cocaine from the same delivery service. All died from fentanyl. These, an expecting father, 20-something, and, a woman. It's a horror story. And, this guy checked into a hotel to do some work, and they found him days later. This delivery service dropped off coke. Didn't even know that existed, but, here we are. And these people dead from fentanyl. Why do I care about this? Well, first of all, I care when people die. But second of all, I care about this because our border is wide open. There are more people dead in this country from fentanyl than there are Ukrainians dead, and also Russians dead in that war. So we're sending billions and billions and billions to a war overseas, and our borders are wide open, and people are ordering coke and dying. This lady's like, they show her text messages to the delivery service like, hey, just need a little pick me up type of thing. And now they're all dead. Wide open border. But here, you're going to get virtue signaled and lectured on, if you don't support us, you're a Putin sympathizer and you're anti-American. I'm probably the most fucking pro-American human being on the face of the planet. And I care about everybody around the world, but I care about people like this, right? No, folks, you can't order cocaine. It's not legal. It's a felony. It's a class Schedule 1 drug. You can't, but it's New York City. You can do whatever you want, right? I mean, yeah, I'll give you the link to this. There you go. So read it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, this one guy worked at Credit Suisse and this and that, and boom. So you can order drugs today online, DoorDash, and be dead because of fentanyl. Anybody care about that? Or you just care about, sending billions of dollars overseas? And I can't stand when people like a Joe Biden or Democrats will immediately respond with what? Well, we need to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Yeah, we can, and we fucking can't. That's the point, right? All this shit going to Ukraine, I'm like, there's 60,000 homeless veterans on our streets. And why the fuck weren't they hired first to be the 87,000 IRS agents? But, don't get me started about that. And we have, 22, 44, you pick a number, one veteran a day that kills himself. But when I bring those type of things up, some people immediately do what? Well, we need to be able to do all these type of things. I'm like, yeah, I know we should be able to do all these things, and we're not. So why don't we pick a couple that really are important and shit can the rest of them? Why don't we task shed, right? When I'm flying down at low altitude, I'm not looking at my watch. I'm not, there's a couple mission critical things that you do when things are going wrong, and you shit can the rest of them. But here we are, people just ordering drugs online in New York City and dying from fentanyl. And we're doing nothing about it. Why? Because the vice president of the United States of these Americas says the border is closed. Our border is secure. Russian fighter jet released missile after a British spy plane intercept. I'm a big Hunt for Red October fan. Really big Hunt for Red October fan. And I love Senator Fred Thompson. That guy was great as the Admiral in Hunt for Red October. This stuff's going to get out of hand. And if there's one accident, somebody goes bump in the night, remember on the Hunt for Red October, like a Tomcat, had clipped the wing of a Russian plane and he came back and then it's a big ramp strike from a Korean war jet. We are one accident away from all being vaporized, right? One accident away from being vaporized. Here comes the part of Wiz's brief where he says, what? Everybody say it with me. This is going to get worse and worse and worse. I talked about this last week. I forgot to delete it. But again, the profoundly stupid narrative that getting to the brink of nuclear war is actually the best thing we can be doing. And if you're one of the people that says we should be de-escalating this danger, you're a traitor. Okay. Thank you. Ukraine's going to freeze. The brutal winter ahead. Blah, 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 blah. It's going to get worse. We already talked about that last week. We all laughed about this. Our strategic petroleum reserve is empty. But Joe Biden says, well, I'll replenish it at 70, right? If you guys, you ready for this? Here's the backward-handed shit. Well, this will be an incentive to drill. It's a call option. If the oil companies drill more, I'll pay you 70 for it. There's just so much stupidity going on at our national quote leadership level. It's insane. We're talking about easing sanctions on a dictatorship who murders people in Venezuela so Chevron can drill and get us oil. And we're talking about Iran, right? Iranians have been rising up in the streets, getting shot, getting killed. Did you see the chosen one, Barack Hussein Obama, a couple weeks ago? You know what? His biggest regret? Good on him. Good on you, Mr. President. My biggest regret is not supporting the Green Revolution. I was in these briefs. I told him this was the moment. That was the closest moment we've ever had in my lifetime to toppling the Iranian regime and he punted. But anyway, so doing this right in front of an election, or having foreign, begging foreign governments to not cut production in front of the election, just do it after, is begging foreign governments to interfere in our election, which used to be an impeachable offense, but not anymore. It's only impeachable when the other side does it. So 100% recession odds. Let's get operational. This is the week. This is the big one. It is tech week, man. Amazon, Google, you name it, man. This is the big one. Now you're going to be, well, you're probably not going to be shocked. Where is it? Let's go there right now. Here we go. So, and it was cool as I was getting ready to jump on the air. The CNBC they beat me to it, but I was going to say this anyway. You ready? Big tech profits set to fall the most in 3 years. Blah, and they had a great chart of how all the tech is doing year to date. Everybody's getting destroyed, but tech is destroyed, more destroyed. So Microsoft and Google, I will never call it the A word. It's Microsoft and Google. AMC tomorrow. Facebook, we'll never call it that word, is Wednesday. Apple and Amazon on Thursday. So let's go take a look at the, where are we? All the way over here. We went up and tried to kiss 3,800 today, and we failed. So obviously, how many for the past 5 months? Look at this. For the past 5 months, where's 3,800? Look at the 3,800 peak. Look at the 3,800s there. Look at the 3,800s there. 1, 2, 3, and a kiss. Anybody seeing a trend here? Double bottom pop, double top, go? No. So double bottom here, rip your face off rally, double top here, maybe, I don't know, because of this. Back to that. They're getting hammered. They're down year to date, blah, blah, blah. But I'm actually, don't fall out of your chair. I'm actually going to say, I think, and I'm of course going to be wrong on this, but because I'm going to be out of cycle, out of phase, out of plane with the enemy aircraft. I believe that they've done what they always do, that I usually am right or wrong at whatever. I think they've lowered the net way too far. Remember, right? We got our whizzism, Wall Streetism. If you can't hit the ball over the net, you lower the net. The tech companies are like, oh my God, we're all going to die. And then if this week they don't die, you might see a rally in these names. Now that is so counterintuitive, trust me. But how many times in recent earnings history have I said, holy shit, tech, the last earnings cycle, I was like, did you not hear that they're laying off people? Amazon's like, yeah, we ain't buying those 25 new massive aircraft carrier centers around the country. I'm like, what? But remember, when this stuff kind of, when this stuff happens, it's actually good for earnings. That bottom line gets healthier. This is Gordon Gekko talking, right? The more we lay off people and this and tighten shit up, it's going to go to the bottom line. So let me lead with this. For this week, big old trash bag full of popcorn. Maybe some SPX sniper shots throughout the day type of thing. But as far as Amazon, I literally, yesterday sitting on the couch and actually went to my hockey game, but in the morning, get my weekly shit together. I'm like, this is another one of those times when I look at the estimated Amazon earnings per share and just throw a dart, man, from they're going out of business to, they're making $1 trillion a second. I mean, it's just so interesting that the quote analysts, right? The people who it's literally their job to know this stuff are literally all over the place. I'm seeing everything from it's going to be the biggest beat in the history of man to they're going to go bankrupt. So on a week like that, let's go look at the at the money straddle, and now it's finally rolling over here. So there goes the S&P 500 too. Oh, wrong one. Let me go over to this one. I already have my lines drawn on this one. Thank you. So there you go. I mean, this is just like your standard every day that we've had in the market for the past couple months. Rip your face off rally or rip your face off implosion, and then corrects the other direction. This amateur hour, guys, I talked about this last week. We had a little go down Chicago memory lane. You trade the open, go play racquetball the rest of the day, go have some tin sandwiches, go walk around Michigan Avenue, come back for the close and trade the close, and then you're done. So we don't hold 37.50 here. It'll be lookout below. Where's 25? Put back to Amazon at the money straddle. So let me lead with this. I'm not doing anything on Amazon this week. Literally, whoa, that's a big. Here we go, implosion. Let's debrief that first last week. So anytime, ladies and gentlemen, you see me write a headline like this, do the exact opposite of talk about ego. Last Monday, we're crushing Amazon. New shorts, slant, rip. So had to eject out of the short calls, had to eject out of the bear call spread. And again, this is why we brief, right? I say maybe eject at double the credit you take in. And, obviously look at Amazon last week. Whenever you see Wiz's ego pop up, like, hey, man, I think we had, where's my kneeboard card? Like 6 weeks straight of Amazon victories, man. And boom, kicked right in the teeth. So yay. It was awesome for 6 weeks. And that app, I mean, let's go, folks. Let's just be honest. Ain't nobody having that was a long streak in Amazon victories. We had a blast. But last week I got kicked in the gut. Nice sell-off out of Amazon right here. Obviously a week too late for that trade. So bad trades, short calls, and bad bear call spread out of me last week. But that was again, where's the S&P? Right here. This, rip your face off implosion, rip your face off implosion, rip your face off. I thought we had more down to go than that, obviously, and I got that wrong. So bad on me. But let's get back at the money straddle and let's see how wide it is. What's the market saying for this week as we keep imploding? So let's get to the 117 real quick. That's about $8 or $9 wide. Just looking at it, using some Kentucky windage. Look at the straddle. Look at Friday. $9. Close. Well, I said $8 or $9. It's $9. So $9, folks, is the at the money straddle. Which is obviously 18 wide. So let's shrink it up here. So there's the Elizabeth Warren teepee. That's a big ass move. The options market is saying, it's going to, that makes no sense. That's a pretty 126, 106. Well, so what I'm looking at that with a raised eyebrow, 85% using at the money volatility in Amazon options. The market's saying with a really high degree of certainty that Amazon's going to stay below 126 and above 108. What is that? That's what percentage move? 10? That's like a 15% move in the forecasted move in the stock. Jeez. That's big. So we've done this a couple times around earnings. Let's go back to the chart. What did I say? 126, 108. So we're going to have to go out a little bit here. So let's draw that. 126 and 108. That's a big ass move. So, couple things you can do, especially if you're new to options. First thing you can do if you're new to options is gamble, which would be the dumbest thing you can do. But here's potential gambles. Wiz, I think Amazon's going to have a great quarter. They've lowered the bar so low that anything's going to be good. Great. Buy some calls. Step one in options world would be buy some calls. Let's look at the Friday. Let's open the strikes a little bit. Let's go up a little. So there are potentially people. These could be the sold. These could be sold calls, folks. Right? I don't know, but let's just make a kind of assumption that at the 120 strike, there's some good open interest. At the 125, what did I say? 126 would be the yeah. Is there anybody looking higher than that? Let's go 20. Scroll down at the 126, 127. Yeah, so I mean, people, machines, when they become self-aware and kill all of us. Wow. The 130 strike down here. So obviously at $5 increments, there's big open interest. But these could be spreads, obviously, right? Somebody could buy the 125s and sell the 130s, right? That's a bull call spread. So you don't know if these calls are opened or sold. All right. But what I am saying is there's a lot of stuff going on up. Let's roll inverted and dive. Wiz, holy shit, Amazon's going to announce they're going out of business. Let's look over here at the puts. 108. I told you 108 was the bottom of the at the money strata where the market is saying they might be. There's some 5,400 right there. We're at 117 right now, so we're kind of. Oh wow, the 100 strike has about 10. So this shows just doing this cursory glance without digging in, and there's people up and there's people down, right? There's on earnings. It's gambling. Right? This is what frustrates retail traders the most, right? How many times before you showed up here did you get earnings right and you lost money, right? For example, you were, Wiz are going to crush earnings and, I'm buying some calls. They crush earnings and the stock goes down. Because remember, as we get into earnings season, earnings are what? I always do this. Earnings are a 70-30 thing. What do I mean by that? 30%-ish of an earnings call is what? The left side of the chart. It's in the past. When they get on the brief on Friday, Thursday, whenever it is, they say what? Here's how we did. And what happens, especially either before market or after market close, what happens? The stock moves. So if you're a little retail trader and you're long some calls and they're on the call going, last quarter was epic, printing money, unbelievable. And the stock goes up after hours. And then they say, however, our forward look sucks. And the stock implodes. You don't have to raise your hand and tell me if this has happened to you because it's happened to everybody in the room. Right? Andrew, you get a gold star, my friend. You get a gold star. That's one of the books I kept during my purge, during my market purge in COVID when no books were, but that book actually stays. So everybody golf clap for Andrew because he did his homework. In Full Throttle, I give you a required reading list. It's not a suggestion, it's a requirement. So good job, Andrew. So, and he said he should have read it two years ago. So S&P just broke 3750. So the next stop is 3725. So you guys should be taking sniper shots in the background, but and a big implosion on everything here. So there you go. Rip your face off rally at the open. You should have faded that with a bear call spread up there. Remember 2, 4, 6. Saw a red, a green, and a big red confirmation. Squeeze the trigger. Remember, on a 2-minute chart, 4 minutes, if you shoot your sniper after 2 ticks, right, which would be 4 minutes, that's an aggressive sniper shot. 3 gives me confirmation, and in this case, the 3rd tick would have been a little late, like, okay, now it's really getting hammered. But you can still get on there and pound that into the dirt. So we're gonna be fading the rest of the day here. And I'm not seeing anything massively across the wire or my phone and my mastermind group about why this is happening. This is trading. So down here, I'd reload with a bull put spread eventually once we bottom out. Okay, but let's get back to Amazon. So back to Amazon and gambling. Wiz, I think they're going to do great earnings. I have no idea what they're going to do. If I had a night, if I actually knew what here's what's funny about insider trading. People do insider trading and lose money, right? I've heard of several cases. Hell, they've prosecuted cases before where people did insider trading and lost money, right? Because even if you knew, like, hey, I know Amazon's going to report $8.07 earnings per share. I have a buddy who works in finance and he's, whatever. And that's going to be a blowout number. And then you trade off of it, and then they do come out and you don't know that on the phone call they were going to say they're pre-warning or something like that. Or the exact opposite. Oh my God, I think the stock's going to implode. And then their forward look is, we're awesome. Nothing's, I can't wait for the election and Republicans are going to win and it's going to be pro-business for Amazon and we're back, baby. Right? So step one, trading, let's go with step 0. What's Wiz do 98% of the time around earnings? Nothing. Bag-o popcorn and watch. There has been times, I think we've done this like 2 or 3 times, maybe in the past year, anecdotally, and done what? Really wide iron condor. Meaning, look at the at-the-money straddle, which we already did. I think it was 126 up here and they're right there, 126, 108. Take a look. If you think the thing's it's gonna move and all over the place, you could do an iron condor. Bear call spread up here, bull put spread up here. That thing can run all over the place as long as by Friday's expiration, it stays between your short strikes, your short call here and your short put. Or you can do a straddle or a strangle. It's a similar type of tactic. Haven't looked at those in a while because, most they're in the OPCL, right? The options pocket checklist. You can go take a look at those. The OPCL's awesome. It's just like a checklist for a pilot, man. Straddle, strangle, or, butterfly, when to use it, how to use it. It's a nice checklist of how to do that. And then a longer explanation of those tactics are actually in I believe it's the advanced workbook. So take a look at your advanced workbook if you're into doing things like that. But easier for me is just kind of an iron condor. If you think it's going to stay between those two ranges, let's go see if there's premium in those. Let's build one of these together. And if you are a popcorn guy, in my personal accounts, I'm long Amazon, or I think Susie is, and I got psychedelics. But if you want to see kind of what would happen, you definitely need to throw these in your training accounts, right? Everybody should have their paper training account. But let's go down to the 108 for Friday. The 108, 107 bull put spread. 108, 107. You bet, Barry. Let's just do that again real quick, that exercise. For 117, you click on. So first of all, Barry, the best way in the old days to calculate it is what? We're at 117 right now. Look at 117 and look in the between here. Let's just say that's 450 and look at that. That's 450. 450 plus 450 is what? $9. So in the old days, I used to have to stand here and go, all right, that's about, mental math real quick. But now what do we do, Barry? You just click on it and come over to here and go straddle. You sell it and then scroll back to make sure it's Friday's expiration. So look at that. 9:15. We were pretty damn close, weren't we, Barry? So yeah, so you can just look at the strikes down here and add the puts and add the price of the calls. Mid-market put, mid-market call. You add those two together, you get that price right there. And then obviously you can click on analyze and it says it over here, 126, 107. Okay. But let's go back. 108. 108. So you'd be selling the 108 and buying the 107. Let's see if there's premium in that. And listen to me. So the at the money straddle, folks, there isn't going to be a lot of premium. Why? Because everybody knows it. Not only people, but machines right now are calculating the at-the-money straddle. In the options market, folks, you're not going to walk in here today and go, I'm going to do this trade. And the market's going to go, oh, that's not that much risk, but I'm going to pay you a lot because I like you. That's not going to happen. So you might have to, we're probably going to have to go up a little bit to see any sort of premium, maybe the 109 or the 110. But let's put like 75 in here, 75 contracts real quick to see. Yeah. For this, if you want to make a little money, man, you got to take a little bit of risk. So we're going to have to come up on this. Maybe let's go up to the 110, 24 cents. Okay. But look at this. There's an 87% probability, 88 of making 1,800 bucks, risking 57 to make 1,800 bucks. Okay. Now, hopefully you're sitting there going, well, Wiz, with your $100,000 training account, you don't want to risk more than 5% or $5,000 on any one trade, right? Now, of course, that's a little north. I'm the pilot in command, so I can say, it's a little north. But guess what I can do to offset this risk? Okay? We can do an iron condor, but let's do this real quick. Which strikes are these? This is the 110, 109. Don't let me forget that. Let's look at the bear call spread. What did I say? 126? Selling the one, but there ain't going to be any premium in that. So let's go down to the 124. Let's do the 124 to 125 bear call spread. And it's close. What was the bull put spread? About 24 cents? So we're close. 75, 75. And that's pretty damn close, folks, right? Risking 54 to make 21. So, and what strikes were these? The 124. All right, 110. So watch this strategery. Watch this sorcery. If you were paying attention, which I hope you were, the bull put spread that I just showed you was risking 5,700 bucks. The bear call spread that I'm showing you is risking 5,400 bucks. So if you did both of those trades, 5,700 plus 5,400, 5,700 plus 5,400 equals 11,100 bucks in risk, right? Isn't that awesome? Holy shit, Wiz, you're risking 11,100 bucks? No, I'm not. If you think that I'm risking in those two trades 11,100 bucks, you need to choke yourself because it shows me you didn't listen to or watch your Iron Condor training, folks, because I am actually going to show you that you're going to be risking less than 54 or 57. Watch this. Let's do an Iron Condor. Let's add option. Let's add the puts. What was it? It was selling 75 of the, it was 110, right? Keep me honest. The 110, 109, I think it was. The 110, 110, and buying 75 of the 109. For 55 cents. Holy shit. Wiz, I went from sitting in this brief going, there is no way on God's green earth am I going to risk 11,100 bucks on an Iron Condor. And now you're choking yourself to death because you didn't pay attention to Iron Condor training. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do the bear call spread that I mapped out and the bull put spread together, they will make a trade called an Iron Condor, and it's on your screen right now. I call it a football trade. Why? Because let me do it. This is the current price of Amazon. You see that dotted line? Here's your uprights. Oops, went a little far. There's your left upright, which is your bull put spread. Here is your right upright. The football right there is the dotted line, folks. Amazon, between now and Friday, your mission objective is for the football to go through those uprights, whichever direction. I would love if it went through the middle, but who cares? Folks, even if, there you go, Frank, the Chicago Bears can boing, and as long as it boings and it's through. So I call this a football trade. I don't care where Amazon moves this week, as long as by Friday it stays where? under 124.53. So there's two break evens in this trade. And 109.47 down here, 109.47 and 124.53. You have two break evens in this trade. So on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is an iron condor for Amazon. So if you didn't listen to your full throttle training, I just gave it to you. It's a bear call spread up here and a bull put spread down here. And this one, I actually don't mind. This is a pretty wide iron condor. Now, if Amazon comes out Thursday or whenever it is, and like is shocking, the football can obviously go out of these uprights. Okay. But right now, it's a pretty damn solid looking iron condor here. Let's put this in our training account. I'm not going to put this in my personal account. I would tell you if I would do that. But this is definitely one to do for training, and also do it to see how to put it on. So right now on your screen, so options trade, so market makers, folks, on your screen right now, the machines see what? They see four individual legs, to be honest with you, right? So where I worked in Chicago, we had our own proprietary pricing model that told us what the perfect price mid-market on all four of these legs were, right? But obviously, they take into account the whole thing because, when you fire this order, it goes in as an iron condor, all of these legs together. Now, if your price right here kind of hits the price of somebody else on the other side of this trade, somebody who's on the other side of this trade, they think you're an idiot. They think Amazon's either exploding out of the top or exploding out of the bottom. You're a moron. That's what makes a market. You think the person on the other side of the trade is dumb, not you, right? Well, and sometimes the market maker obviously has to just take this trade to make a market, but they also get a lot of benefits for doing that, which we can talk about some other time. So when you press fire on this trade, it'll go in as this. But if you're not getting filled on this, sometimes I get better fills if I put them in as two separate trades. I put the bear call spread in, and then I put the bull put spread in. So it's two separate orders. That's just anecdotal, folks. Sometimes, I get filled right away on the iron condor. Sometimes I got a leg into it. Now, sometimes we talk about which leg, people immediately like, which one would you do first? If it's hanging around the middle of the iron condor, the current price, let's go look at where we are. Yeah, we're kind of neutral. The football is kind of in the middle right now. But this is the calm before the storm. You ready for my Monday solo Amazon warning? Or not warning, just note. My Monday solo Amazon note is what? It's Monday at 10:38. The world could end by Friday, or Jesus could come back by Friday, which would be awesome. He already did come back, but I get it. You know what I'm talking about. So a lot of green on the field until Friday, right? But risking $3,600 to make 39, I like that risk to reward. If you're sitting here going, Wiz, I can't risk $3,600. That's between you, God, and your financial advisor. This is based on 75 contracts. You don't want to do 75 contracts and risk $3,600. Don't. You want to risk quadruple that amount? Do 300 contracts at whatever math that is. I can't tell you what to do. I'm telling you what in this training account would be a nice looking trade, and it's this one. But with Amazon right now going down, let's bring up today's chart. With Amazon imploding here and a nice solid bounce like the S&P bounced just under 37.50, I would do the bull put spread first. Why? Because there's a little bit more premium. This would have been a perfect, if I had seen Amazon imploding here, I could have put the bull put spread on first. Why? Because it's imploding and I'd have more premium. And then once it leveled off here and started climbing, that's when you put the bear call spread on, because now the bear call spread would have a little bit more premium. Does that make sense? It's a little counterintuitive. Put the spread on first that it's imploding towards, because that short put down here is getting juicier. The premium's going higher. As it goes up, the short call up here is getting juicier and more premium. So then you'd fire the bear call spread. Okay. So there's a little trade management in the putting it on. Let me grab screenshots of this before I forget. Okay. So that's the how to put it on. And on your screen right now is the iron condor. So when would I eject out of an iron condor? Never. Wait, hold on, dude. Yeah. Don't tell me to hold on. I would never eject out of an iron condor. Why? Because I don't trade it as an iron condor, folks. When I get filled on these two spreads or the entire iron condor, how do I manage the trade? I manage it as two separate spreads. I manage it as the bull put spread and the bear call spread that it is. I don't manage it as the iron condor. Why? Because, folks, if the football does start shanking around on Amazon this week, we can do what? We can close profitable legs, right? So let's say going into earnings this week, as sometimes tends to happen with Amazon, somebody's talking. You remember, when was that? A year ago? My God, I can't remember. Remember, I think I had something on, whatever trade I had on, and it was, maybe it was a bear call spread. Was I that dumb? But whatever happened that week, what happened? Like Monday or Tuesday, I think it was a Thursday or Friday earnings. What happened? I hear that Amazon's going to split. They're gonna announce a split. And what happened? A rip your effing face off rally into earnings. I'm like, what the? And then what happened on the earnings call? No mention of a split. That was, and I found out about this, that was some Axe Capital shit. Some other big firm in Greenwich or wherever it was found out that a firm that they hated was short Amazon and did what? Picked up the phone and called the Wall Street Journal and said, Blue Horseshoe loves Amazon. Rumors are swirling that Amazon's going to announce a split on. Does this shit happen, Wiz, in real life, or was that just in the movies? Like, isn't Billions fictional and isn't the movie Wall Street fictional? Yeah, it's fictional in that it's worse in real life. So, anyway. So, that's comical. But anyway, folks, here's what I'm getting at. This, ladies and gentlemen, if Amazon starts climbing into earnings, what do? Hey, man, my bull put spread's looking profit. Here's how you manage an iron condor. You don't. You manage it as two spreads. And we talked about this last week, 7, 8, 9. If you're looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on the credit you took in on one of those spreads, close it. Don't turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. Okay? Now, same thing. When you get filled on the bull put spread and the bear call spread, look at what you got filled on at that price. Hey, I got filled at a credit of 25. Double that credit. Double that credit is 50 cents. So if you are, hey, Amazon's running up in earnings, close the bull put spread for 7, 8, 9 and eject out of the bear call spread if it gets up to 50. What can you also do? Well, shit, man, I closed this bull put spread for a nice profit. Put another one on. Reload, we call it, right? Or if it's running up and you close the bear call spread, shit, looks like it's on a tear. Maybe put on a new bear call. Close this one and maybe put on a new one. Some people like to roll, right? They'll roll the trade up. I'll do a better job in Full Throttle talking about rolling this time, but I'm not a roller, folks. If a trade's going against me, I close that trade and reestablish a new one. Because sometimes with the math, like, well, I'm going to roll it up and this and that, and then do I roll it for a credit or I'm a political science major, folks. I like clean, cut it, kill it, new one. But if you're a roller, keep on rolling. Don't let me slow your roll. Okay. So let me fire this one. I said I'd go 30 minutes and I'm at 45 because I love talking to you guys and helping people out. Are there any questions about an iron condor, how to put it on, how to manage it? Good observation, JW. I love people sitting in the airplane helping me out. The market is up and the VIX is up. Say it with me. Market up, VIX up, something is up. Right? So, market up, VIX up. Tom, good question. when is the best time to place this trade? Should it be a day before earnings? No. Because, Tom, when you place an Iron Condor, an Iron Condor is 2 credit spreads, right? What do you get, Tom, when you're in a credit spread? Every second that goes by, you get theta. You get a Greek called time decay. Remember, Tom, when you sell something, right? When you're the Ferrari dealer in Fort Lauderdale and you sell a Ferrari to a guy like me having a midlife crisis, what happens as soon as I pull out of the parking lot? That Ferrari depreciates. Anybody who's bought a car in this place knows exactly that you like being the car dealer. You don't like being the rube that just bought the car. So, but you could, Tom, if you wanted to place this the day before, you could. But trust me, Tom, between now and, the day before earnings, that at the money straddle is going to move and stuff like that. Okay, so I like having a little bit of time here because guess what? If Amazon, that's the VIX, but if it's moving around this week, Tom, I can take a couple sniper shots. Like if we, again, this is rearward facing, so I hate people who kind of do this, but I don't hate myself. But let's say today, as soon as the market opened, I talked about this trade. Like, let's do the Iron Condor bear call spread, bull put spread, and then halfway through this brief, or let's say we got filled on bear call spread that was all the way up here, and it was profitable down here. What could we have done? Shit, Wiz, I'm already up 20% in the half an hour you've been speaking about. I closed it. Okay, good. So, Tom, if you actually have this Iron Condor on this week, you can maybe get in and out of it a couple times of those spreads. But if you kind of sit here all week and just sit on immediate answer is yes, Tom, you can do it the day before. I prefer to kind of dogfight and have some fun throughout the week. How about this? It's personal preference. I prefer, especially with just let's go look at the Where's Waldo S&P 500, especially it's on the screen, Wiz, especially with this type of stuff. Whoa. You can be doing some good work in here as an options trader. Okay. So it just depends, man. Whatever. I hope that rambling helps you out in some way. Jim, we're in solo Amazon. Really don't want to talk about psychedelics, but on Wednesday, accelerated retirement is what? Thursday, we can definitely talk about the psychedelics. But Jim, short story long, everything getting destroyed. Psychedelics aren't immune from the overall market. As a matter of fact, psychedelics are more, the public psychedelic stocks are more attuned to the overall market because guess what? I briefed a couple weeks ago. What happened? Good old Chamath. His SPACs are all done. A year and a half ago, what was going on? Do you want to buy this JPEG for $2.4 million of an ape? Yeah. Do you want to buy this coin that I just made up? Sure. What? So last year, people were throwing money around like drunken sailors, and I know exactly what throwing money around like a drunken sailor looks like. Thankfully, I'm not that anymore. But so this year, Jim, is a lot of consolidation in the space. Last week, I went to a hockey game with Cody Shandraw, who has about $500 million in the psychedelic space. And he had first of all, he had some incredible intel that I hope isn't true, but he also had some, he had an, well, guys, I'm in solo Amazon, but I was going to give you Cody's article where he talks about the consolidation in the space. I think it's this one. Yes, this is Cody's interview. This was back in May. There he is, Cody Shandraw. I think consolidation is going to continue. It's just that, so, my immediate answer with psychedelics getting pounded is to do what? Add more. But again, folks, the psychedelic space is the internet in 1999. There's going to be companies that are Facebook, Google, and Microsoft and Apple, and there are going to be companies that are Enron, psychedelics, and Lehman Brothers. So I've given that brief repeatedly. So that's where we are. So I haven't heard that rumor, Werner, about Core One Labs. That's news to me. Amazon expands air cargo network with Hawaiian Airlines. Okay, that's a little bit of a headline, but oh yeah, forgot to. It's funny, man. Somebody wrote me, was it Saturday? Like, hey, I'd like to take your lifetime offer. I'm like, sure, I'd love for you to take the lifetime offer too. It's at $22,500. It's really interesting when people like don't like listen, but the answer was no. Or the answer would be yes. It currently what it's at. So let me grab this because I forgot to post it. Paul, it's today. It's a 1 day chart, and I use 2 minutes. I got my Keltner channels and my volume down here. You can get super, man. There are people that, it looks like they're sitting in an F-18 with the charting and stuff like that. This is, I do what works for me. It's a daily chart, and 1 minute is ADHD. 3 minutes too long. 2 minutes is where you need to be. I learned this in Chicago from the pros. Barry, yeah, I use Keltner channels. And again, this I can dig up why I ditched them. I think it's in my Chicago folder. I have reasons behind all of this stuff, guys, and I forget the exact reasons behind them, but they all made sense at the time. So, oh, good intel, Paul. The A330s for the Amazon are just the replacements for the 767s, not new growth. Good intel with that. Paul, you could do an Amazon wheel if you wanted to, but that's kind of like doing a bull put spread down here, right? Unless you're just, no kidding, selling short calls down here, which would be pretty. But yeah, the answer is yes. You could do an Amazon wheel. Me, I like the trade that we covered, but yeah, of course you could do a wheel. New Amazon earnings. Iron Condor. And I feel good about this one, folks, because I'm telling you, man, I think they've lowered this might be a surprise to the upside, folks. I really think they they've sandbagged, man, especially Apple, right? Apple is your serial sandbagger. They underpromise and over deliver usually, but have there been? Let's take a look at Amazon, and let's expand our earnings. Let's go take a look at all the little E's. No, that's little. I mean, look at the implosions. There's an explosion on an earnings. There's a big implosion. There's a really big implosion, but again, that's the overall market. So I don't know, man. So I like the Aaron Condor we covered, and I'm filled at 54 cents. Now let's go look at it. So here's what I do. When Wiz gets filled on an Aaron Condor, what does he do? I don't sit here and stare at this. I do this. I hit grouping, and I pull them apart. I turn them into a bull put spread and a bear call spread when I'm able to do it. There we go. So now I have a bull put spread on. I have 2 trades on Amazon. And now you can manage risk appropriately by ejecting at double the credit you took in, or 7, 8, 9, exiting for a 70, 80, 90% profit. Okay. Wanted to go 30 minutes today, and I went 54 and gave you your Iron Condor training that you'd get in full throttle. So if you're just in solo Amazon and you're not paying for the full throttle training, you're welcome. But that's good stuff. I didn't ignore your question earlier. Somebody asked about selling short calls this week. Yeah, right up around here. Do the 123s, the 124s, 125s is the short calls. So I would sell 5 of, maybe go a little bit more aggressive if you are synthetically long, right? we did the synthetic stock out a couple years. Go watch the replays, from, I think we put it on a month ago or a month and a half ago, the long-term bullish trade. So again, right now, folks, I'm bipolar, clearly. I am bipolar on Amazon. And what does that mean? I am long-term bullish on Amazon. You can get all the way bullish on Amazon in January of 2025. Right? But short-term in the front months, we can be neutral to bearish, which, on earnings, I got to be honest, I'm neutral. It's a coin flip. So maybe sell, the 124s or 125s out to Friday. There's a lot of premium in a man. $6 out of the money right now. If you sold 5 of these, you're making $1,100, right? I mean, hell, even the 126s. So each week we've been bringing in about $700 or $800 or $900 on our 5 contracts, short calls. But if you wanted to go aggressive, maybe down at the 123s, that's definitely, there's $1,100, or I'm sorry, $1,300. It's not too bad annualized. 1,300 times 52 trading weeks. Just in short calls alone, man, you could make 68 grand in a year. Isn't that cool? So let me grab a screenshot of this. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. It's to steal my beautiful bride's podcast title. It's fine. It's always fine, right? So even in the darkness, there's no such thing as darkness, man. It is all light. I know my dad's on this webinar with us and this brief, but no, just it's just shit. Amazon short calls. It's just, it's here sucks, right? There doesn't suck. There definitely doesn't suck. But you can obviously have heaven on earth, right? As it is in heaven, it is here. And you can close your eyes, get some meditation on, and you can connect with whatever you call it, man. Source, truth, divine. I prefer to use the word God. I can't even explain. I had a great day yesterday, too, talking to a friend and his wife. So I have 2 couples that I am helping out right now. One of my best friends from Kingsville, Texas. He and I went through training together. He and his bride are stepping into the medicine. And then 2 of really good friends, not Navy good friends, but South Florida good friends. And they might even go together. And I might be going to hold space with them. So it's so cool to see people reaching out for healing, and we're trying to make the world a better place. And my social media, man, or the No Fallen Hero social media, it's almost overwhelming some days. I mean, it's sad that I don't want to say it like this way. Like sometimes I don't even want to look at the messages because it's overwhelming, man. I'm a Marine from Fallujah. I'm fucking broke. I'm out of work. I'm suicidal. I'm like, oh my God, man, I gotta, we're doing my best to help all these people, but the social media is just like, it's overwhelming. At sometimes there's so much hurt going on in the world, but we are doing our best to put the ladder down and help as many people as we can. Cause healing is possible, but everything's temporary, man. Nothing's permanent. So I will have a good rest of the day, Tom, because you told me to, and I feel that, and I appreciate that, my brother. So, all right, folks, I'll get this replay posted here shortly. I will send out a text and email alert right now with the trade for my solo Amazon brothers. Even though you and sisters, you are here, I'll still send out the text and email alert. Okay. And then the replay will be posted shortly. So have a great rest of your day. And I'm sure I will. And I'll see many of you tomorrow morning for the primary live trade brief. All right. God bless, fights on, and namaste. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.